How can you personalize your messaging to physicians for greater prescription intent? What are people saying about your brand? How can you make your marketing efforts more precise and effective? These and many more questions are answered on this podcast, which is here to serve as a playbook for all your pharma marketing needs. As your host, Saumya Prakash, co-founder of Multiplier AI Solutions, sits across pharma industry's top experts. This is your place to get all the insights about Gen AI, data, and beyond.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Pharma Marketing Playbook, Data, Gen AI and Beyond. Your go-to podcast for mastering pharmaceutical marketing, analytics and AI trends. Join industry leaders as we explore cutting-edge trends, strategies and the impact of AI. I am Saumya Prakash, co-founder at Multiplier AI, and today we have a very special guest joining us, Mr. Thambu Raj Anthuvan. Honored to have Mr. Thambu Raj with us today. He is a distinguished leader in pharmaceutical marketing. Mr. Thambu completed his MBA at Annamalai University and began his career at Ferring Pharmaceuticals. He held significant roles at Eli Lilly, USV Limited, and Abbott Diabetes Care. Currently, he serves as Senior Vice President in Sales Marketing and SFE at USV Private Limited. Thambu Raj's notable publications include Neuroscientific Insights and Therapeutic Approaches to Eating Disorders. He is also the author of the book Current Trends of Digital Marketing in the Indian Pharmaceutical Industry. His excellence has earned him multiple awards, including the Best Paper Award on his recent publications, a gold medal and a Best Outgoing Student Award during his BPharm and MBA days. He is also presently pursuing his PhD in marketing from Pune University, and he has many more things to his credit, which we will discover in this episode. Thank you, Thambu Raj, for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Saumya, for the kind introduction.
Right. You have had a super impressive career in pharma marketing. Many of the people would just kind of dream of having such a career where you started as a medical representative and today you have become the senior vice president in such a reputed organization. Can you share some key highlights and pivotal moments from your journey with the audience?
Thanks, Saumya, for asking this question. I used to ask this question to myself many times. Now I'm receiving from you. It's interesting journey indeed. In fact, before I started my sales career with pharma, from my childhood days, I have been selling milk. So basically, I'm from a very small town, middle class, lot of family members. From the age of 6 until the age of 17, we used to sell milks. We used to go and deliver milk at every home. So the sales started from there. The hardship actually started from there, and learning actually also started from there. I'll tell you in some other time where I'm applying all those learnings in today's career. Oh yeah, so post that, the one thing which changed my life before coming to pharma was my college. JSS OT was absolutely a tremendous exposure. It's a life changer, I would say. Cross-cultural exposure, it changed my life. But to begin with, Ferring was an interesting journey. They had all interesting products. They taught me the scientific ways of selling. Whereas Eli Lilly was another next step, very important step in my profession, which actually shaped up my skills, especially the selling skills. It also showed me clear career path. USV has been almost 20 years now, 80% of my career with USV. It's a tremendous learning journey, in fact. The greatest learning, I would say, from all these exposures is that, if from my case at least, if you avoid mediocrity, if you have good mentors around you, and if you have a supportive team, success will come in your way. There's also a famous quote which says that you are 100% of who is around you. So probably if you are surrounding yourself with future thinking people, probably you will also be in the same line. That's what has happened in my case. Fortunately, all these companies, all these career progress actually gave me exposure to a lot of good people who are thinking ahead of time. And probably that's what I am today, thanks to all of them.
Wonderful. So, Very inspirational story, starting from grounds up, first principles, many things for us to learn, how consistent, perseverant approach to working and continuous learning can shape and nothing stops us from reaching the highest levels of success. So thank you for sharing that journey with us. When you were working with such diverse organizations, right from Ferring to Eli Lilly, these are in a way global nature and have completely different views and products. So how did you gain from these diverse experiences, and would you like to share some of your insights and learnings with the present generation?
Sure, why not? Yeah, so as I told you, interesting journey. Many all these companies have given me different exposure. In fact, exposure into sales, marketing, L&D, you would say all the digital domain now today I'm expert of. So all these things, exposure come from different companies only. During initial sales days, again, exposure into different segments of sales, specialty spaces, probably the different sections of therapy, for example, acute and chronic, handling mega brands, probably launching a lot of new brands, gave me a lot of exposure into what I'm today. In fact, these, long sales and marketing experience actually made me a practical person, I would say. That's what I'm probably known for. Whenever you are creating your marketing strategy, it should close to the ground reality. You can't be making very, you know, great strategies which are not implementable. So probably knowing coming from such a humble background, probably I started making strategies which are executable and that therefore they become very successful. So that's one great learning. But a few mentions about the companies. As I mentioned, Eli Lilly taught me science. Abbott actually taught me the finance. Fering taught me the power of differentiation, I would say. But USV is different case. USV taught me the comprehensive marketing. I would rather say probably that, I'm sure you have read through Kotler's principles of marketing. In USV, we actually kind of implement every page of Kotler's book at different times. So it's interesting journey. You not only read and you have a chance to kind of implement, execute, try, you have the freedom to execute and attempt and learn actually from all these issues. So that's how probably different companies shaped my career. And I'm sure all the viewers who are attending this session also will be having tremendous learning from their current and past organization. It's a matter of how do you put into practice? How do you kind of keep your learning alive within you and probably use the learning to make advancements?
One offshoot question, from the insights you shared. I've been hearing this from you that sales and marketing and the exposure that you got working with these organizations, they helped you in redefining your thinking and your way of working. When I meet a lot of pharma students, they want to make strategies from day one. Sometimes they want to just be involved into marketing. I would want to know from you, as a practitioner of marketing and being a thought leader in that space, how much would you advise these students that they should start and do significant interactions with the clients and then come to the strategic portion of it?
There are two ways of thinking, Saumya. Very interesting question. One is traditional school of thinking that would say that okay, you need to gain sales experience, then come to marketing, then probably you will make better strategies. Now there is a new school of thinking too. The same experience of sales you can get through your internship. So when I'm doing my course, whether it's B.Pharm or MBA or any other post graduation courses, I can actually get the sales exposure during my internship period. That's enough. In fact, or many companies have this combo pack. They take you in marketing and they put you into field for first 3 to 6 months. That will keep you close to the market realities. That will also probably will be a great learning opportunity for you to see how real life marketing strategies are being implemented, etc. So probably there is no one answer to it. Depending upon one person's acumen, you can choose path one or path two. So for example, if I'm a slow learner, I'll take path one. I'll take sales as a career for 1 year. Slowly and gradually, I will learn everything and then probably move to marketing. But if I'm a quick learner, I will grab opportunities during my internship time and I'll probably get a combo package of 3 months internship or 3 months pre-sales exposure, then move to marketing. Both are applicable, but eventually that exposure is needed. You can't be directly jumping into marketing when it comes to pharma.
True. I think that's a wonderful insight. So internships can be a very handy way of getting exposure into the industry, at the same time knowing what works and what doesn't. Thank you for that insight.
I want to add one more thing, Saumya. We have always been talking about it. It's all about industry and academia collaboration. See, the collaboration can happen in either ways. So, example, I would say, if we are from academic side, industry sitting with real life problems, industry sitting with data. So, if you are an academician, if you want to do research, you don't need to generate data. Data is already there. All you need to do is just jump into research. Now, if you are from industry side, or if you are from the other side of the feeling, for example, if you want exposure of industry, if you're from academia, send your boys and girls to us. There is tremendous amount of internships available. And it's very low stipend. So, the power of putting a salesperson at a very high cost then versus an internship is going to be a very good proposition for me too. At the same time, and at the same time, you also learn and go back to your institute as a better person. Probably tomorrow after going to the college, you will actually kind of understand why you are reading that, why you are actually doing this marketing, studying that marketing concept. Now, if you have the real life flair of what's happening in the field, probably you can understand your theory well. So therefore, in between your curriculum, if you are coming for this exposure, it will be very, very useful for you.
Yeah. I think to summarize this and to add to what you said, I think learning should be the core focus. And believe me, industry is as good a powerhouse for learning as your classrooms are. Sometimes what we assume that only research papers can give us, it may just be hiding in simple data tables when we come to work. That is a reality. And when you work for something which is being paid by a client, I think that really that additional responsibility makes us learn so much faster. That's one thing that I have at least seen in my career.
Very true.
Right. Coming back to know, since you have, I think, donned two hats, you have been a practitioner, you have been in marketing teams, and at the same time, you have been in academia, you have published books. So, with your present publication, current trends on digital marketing in the Indian pharma industry, would you like to highlight some of the most significant trends we would want these insights to come forward?
Sure, why not? That's also an interesting topic. Digital marketing in pharma actually never existed before COVID, except, in few bits and pieces. People are using e-detailing iPads, and we used to call them as digital marketing, and that's end of it. So there was a great trigger had come from the COVID, episode. Then a lot of MNCs coming into India, they kind of improved the level of digital marketing one can do. And there was an organic change which has happened across industries in the past 10 years. So much of digital explosion, digital literacy, digital transformation which is happening, probably that also fostered. The last one is the incoming of Generation Z in the workforce. So if you ask me, 40% of my sales force are Generation Z people. And even in marketing, I would say almost 50% of juniors are from Gen Z. So their thinking process is different. Even the customer preferences are also improving. During COVID, they had exposure to the digital marketing. Earlier to that, there were only in-person selling was there, So then it became phygital. So the new norm today is phygital marketing, no pure physical marketing, no pure digital marketing. So that's one. My publication is all about how these kind of digital marketing strategies were adopted between different pharma companies. So my study clearly found a clear difference in the adoption rate between top companies, that is top 50 and beyond 50. The adoption rates were very different between MNCs and Indian companies too. Also, the same research proved that the future of digital marketing is all about personalization, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and they are the crucial successful factors for the future. A lot of us are using these in different stages of our marketing thing. The three emerging strategies I would say based on my publication would be Where are you in terms of your digital transformation? You are a realization on that will be helpful. Many companies are in the different stages of digital transformation, and their employees are on different stages of digital literacy and digital skills. So you ask me, some company A is very advanced, while company B is just exploring. Company C is still thinking. Company D is not even in there. So that's the stage we are in, typically in page 24 today. But going forward, it's not going to be of any use. You will have to embrace this evolving digital transformation process. Of course, the learning curve will be different for different companies, but that will differentiate you from the others. At the same time, you can't differentiate your marketing from, services. You can't actually take away your ethical practices, patient centricity from your marketing practices. So it has to be a conglomerate and mix of all. So that's going to be the future strategy that also came out from my research. And the last point I would say that is that traditionally, when we were all experts in person selling, the effectiveness of marketing used to be measured with different scales. We used to measure our effectiveness based on sales count, target achievement, market share attainment, growth, very traditional matrices.
Yeah.
So with new ways of digital matrices, digital marketing coming in practice, the entire matrices changed. Entire gamut of the way you measure your campaigns are all changing. So people should be aware of these newer matrices of digital marketing, and probably if you learn that, you will become an expert. So these are all the key insights from my research.
Right. Yeah, you're right. So COVID, I think, kind of provided that momentum to digital marketing. There was always a, interest and working in the industry on digital, on data. But I think COVID was a moment which awakened everyone. And it was like, if this can happen, anything can happen anytime. And we should be prepared for, having our data in place, having our footprints in place, and being able to execute even in the face of completely such lockdowns and shutdowns. So I think COVID was a real game changer for digital. And for the new set of brand managers and the new set of students who are going to come in, I think this is one aspect you cannot ignore anymore. As Thambu Raj has also mentioned in his comments, you have to understand digital marketing, how it is so intertwined today with pharma strategy of operation, commercialization, and so many other aspects. There's so much more to still do, and organizations are taking so much of effort around that. Going forward, what do you see, say, next 3 years? Where would the industry move in digital marketing space? 3 to 5 years.
So again, we can't generalize industry in this per se. So different companies today, if you put probably a measurement where different companies are at which level. So there are three different scales of measuring their digital acumen today, whether they are in realization level or in the digital transformation level, or still in the digitization stage. So digitization stage is a very primitive early stage of embracing technology, and digitalization is probably bringing value in your transformation process. Probably your systems are talking to each other. Systems are probably a bit intelligent and etc. Last one is very interesting, which is digital transformation, where you can monetize from your database. So again, the past old school thinking is that where will I get my company's growth from? Where will the delta come from? So the old people used to say that, it will come from a great strategy, great product, etc. But the future is going to be different. Future is your delta can come from how do you use your data, you know. So delta is equivalent to your data utilization, not only data. So many of us are sitting with so much of data, but most of us are not able to use the data. So going forward, as you asked, in 3 years, those companies probably who will learn to use their data probably will be able to get delta, and they will perform too. So that's a skill by itself. That's where the future is going to be probably. The earlier you learn, more successful you are in the market.
I think that's very exciting because selfishly, I also work in the same area of data. So definitely, it makes me very motivated to see that thought leaders are looking at that, and I think it's right. You're absolutely bang on. There will be much more to do with data. Coming back to the same question, when we are looking at digital and marketing, one aspect of it is also omni-channel communication. And is do you think pharma or large companies where you have experienced are they ready for omni-channel marketing as yet? And what would be your thoughts and some examples how it has worked and where it has not worked?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't kind of stay away from omnichannel marketing. As I told you, farmers typically has got great influence of old style marketing. And we have still a lot of leaders who believe in the old style marketing. So probably if students are watching this, the Gen Z students who are going to be coming in workforce, if they want to join marketing, probably the greatest hurdle they will have is the senior managers sitting in the companies with old style thinking. But however, the global trend is different. The performing new age companies have already embraced omnichannel strategy. But again, it heavily depends upon your portfolio. So many companies have different types of portfolio. Some have FMCG, some have OTX, wherein, with it's a mix of OTC and prescription. And many of us have purely prescription based product portfolio. Again, regulations are different for each. If I have an RX range, that is prescription range, I'll have to stick to my promotions only with healthcare professionals. I can't be reaching out patients. Whereas if I have OTX or OTC, then probably I can reach out to patients. So the whole marketing mix will change depending upon my portfolio. So again, that's first call. Number two is that pharma is already doing omnichannel marketing. As I told you, before COVID, we were only doing physical in-person, selling. So that was not omnichannel. Post COVID, all the companies have included some quotient of digital engagement. So that what you call it as digital, that itself is an omnichannel strategy. But however, within digital, now this is time to kind of explore different methods. So while I can't share my own company's example, but I'm aware of what others are doing in this industry, including us. The whole digital side of the marketing can be explained in with 5D framework. That's what we all talk about. The first D is, which device your end customer or consumer is using. For example, your doctors or your patients, what devices they are using. Basically, today, everyone has got mobile phones in their hand, smartphones. And of course, many of them use laptops and things like that, tablets, etc. So therefore, your strategy first should be mobile first. So that's the first which we are embracing. Then the second question is what digital platforms they are using. So example, we can say that which social media or which websites they visit, which applications they use. Again, that is helping us to in sharpening our focus. The next one is what kind of medium they use. Example, some promotions are very successful with video based blogs. Most of us are doing webinars. Many of us are doing, online real world programs. And of course, a lot of online ads are working. So again, we never thought of all these things in pharma before. It used to be very prevalent in other industries, but they all have come in. Different media, other than your medical representative going in detailing, has chipped in. And we are actually using it to the fullest extent. And the fourth D is your data, which you already spoken about. Data is the new petrol. So how are you collecting your data? How are you maintaining your data? How are you analyzing and using data, using these insights to tweak your strategy? That itself is a department. I would say that many companies, or even if a company doesn't have a data management cell, people sitting and just kind of studying data and interpreting, then probably that company is going to be clearly lagging behind. And machine can't do that. Therefore, you need to have AI solutions. And the last one is technology. As I told you, a lot of technology help can be taken when it comes to digital marketing. So future, we're talking about virtual reality. We're talking about use of CRM systems, 360-degree customers, etc., etc. So understanding these 5 Ds probably will help in omnichannel.
very nicely put, I think, in the form of a framework, makes it so easy to understand. Definitely, each of the points can be extrapolated and we could dive deeper into them. However, coming to another area, this is with regards to concepts like concierge medicine, personalized medicine, genetics, so many other treatments, the list of, these kind of terms is increasing. Do you think that, this will require AI intervention, more deep tech intervention for marketing these kind of new concepts of medicine which are coming out so hyper personalized?
True that. So we have already realized that, we can't sell just pills anymore. Gone are those days where we used to do marketing 1.0, marketing 2.0 or something. As you rightly mentioned, you can't stay away from digital use. So we are talking about marketing 3.0, marketing 4.0, and marketing 5.0. In India, marketing 5.0 doesn't exist. We are talking about predictive, prescriptive stage. At least marketing 4.0 should be kind of implemented. So marketing 4.0 is nothing but usage of digital tools, digital technologies, AI, ML in your decisions. If you can see the examples, what you shared, they're all innovation from care delivery process. For example, a doctor will not just sit in his chamber and give a prescription any. So doctor has to take care of the wholesome needs of the patient, the healthcare, the mental needs, the counselings, apart from medicines, apart from that, your adherence part, and overall, living, quality of living, etc. So therefore, it is not about just ailment. And if you're not able to do that, probably your competitor will do. I'm talking about from doctor's window, they do have competition. So if you're not going to give that edge over others, then probably you will be out of the market. So what is that edge? Where will the edge come from? Edge will come from understanding your clients well. Further, you need to have data of your clients. So from doctor's point of view, I maintain data, then I understand the personalized needs of those patients, they probably deliver it. So same example is applicable to pharma. If I have data of my customers, my doctors, patients, or whoever it is, whomever stakeholder, and I don't lose those data and I use those data. At present, what we're doing is every day is a new pitch. Example, I'll take the example of an email. So you open your Gmail, you'll get 100 spam. You don't even open that because like these spam companies, they don't kind of see the history of your interactions, keep spamming you every day with same pitch. So in future, your medical representative visits, if you don't use your past data, it will be considered as a spam. Because the doctor has clearly told you, I don't want this. Doctor has already clearly told you, this is my preference. This is what I want. This is my area of interest. He has shown you a lot of hints. He has given you plenty of tips. All these interactions are not recorded. Therefore, they're forgotten. Every time we go and meet him, then we start from, scratch. So basically, it was acceptable in the past. No more. All these fine points, small feedback, tips, these hints, it has to be captured in our interactions. And in future, you should use. And then, therefore, your interactions will become enriching. At present, nobody is doing it. So I don't think anyone will use it. But thing is, sooner we use, the more productive we'll become and we will not waste our time. So that's going to be the future. And AI is the only solution. Nothing else is possible. Humanly impossible to do this manually in old style. You will have to make the system study and make you, before say example, you are my doctor, I'm meeting you, I need to be having your history. I mean, in one shot, and I should know what to talk to you. I can't be just repeating a spamming message, ignoring all the past interaction. I hope I answered.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'm just, just keeps me wondering, how many problems could be solved, if we start having a proper record maintained for a physician patient interaction. And sometimes so many medical negligences could be avoided. The burden of the physicians could be reduced. They also go through sometimes so much of mental burden because the ratio of patients to physicians is extremely high. And it's impossible sometimes for a human being. At the end of the day, they are also, humans. And how much, can they do in a day? There are chances of making mistakes or overlooking an important aspect, which could be an indicative area of concern. So I think these are the surrounding areas where AI could definitely make a mark. Along with that, there are, of course, other benefits like language translation or looking at the holistic view of a person, right, from his exercise routine to diet to medication, I know what he's facing, etc., and combining all that. So there are definitely infinite possibilities, where we could benefit as a world from Gen AI applications. But thank you
I
so
just
much.
want to add, one last point. So we never thought about all these things because we never had AI in our hand before as a solution.
Yes,
We never discussed it. So we thought that's our problem we'll have to live with. Today we can talk about it and pronounce them as problems because we have a solution. But when you have a solution, we're not using it, then probably you are outdated and you'll be out of the market. So something like that. So the sooner you embrace it, the sooner you will be successful. That's what probably my summary of it.
correct. I think it's no more an option to not use AI. I think it will become more and more intertwined with our lives. In the next 2-3 years itself, we'll see the change. So I think it's important that we keep ourselves updated, listen to people like you who are practitioners, and learn from your experiences. So thank you, Mr. Thambu Raj, for sharing your invaluable insights and experiences with us today. Your expertise in marketing, in pharma, and impressive professional journey has definitely provided us with a much deeper understanding of how data-driven strategies, AI, etc., can actually drive business growth. To our listeners, we hope you found this episode of Pharma Marketing Playbook, Data Gen AI and Beyond as enlightening as we did. The rapidly evolving world of pharma marketing requires continuous learning, and insights from experts like Mr. Tamburaj will help us in navigating this landscape. So until next time, this is Saumya Prakash signing off. Stay informed and stay in touch. Keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in pharma marketing. Thank you so much once again, Thamburaj, for joining us today and sharing your experiences with us.
Thanks for inviting. Bye bye.
Thank you for joining us in this episode. We hope that the deep insights and knowledge shared today will help your business and brand grow by leaps and bounds. Remember to follow the podcast. And if you wish to know more about Multiplier AI solutions, please visit the links given in show notes.